What's up, guys? This is Giovanni. Welcome back to Giovanni Light. I want to jump on a topic about how organizations and certain jobs and areas hire certain people, not just for the skills that they may have, and they will also hire them based on the energies that they hold within them, not even where they are mentally. Like, for example, DMVs will purposely hire people who are bipolar or have BPD, someone who could lash out at you and get paid for it. And then you have, the law enforcement, where they will hire people who work with very lower entities. Now, it's not always 100%. Like, there are good people in the DMV. I met many good people, very good people. And I came across many great officers who are really cool people. There are some empaths within them. There are light workers amongst them as well. There's light workers who are amongst politicians. So they just don't work, hire people who don't have a conscience and work with lower entities who are like demonic or something could possibly be far worse than that. But also, there's good people within that, so there's like a yin and yang, a balance there. So, and not only just they are working with these systems to bring that good balance, but also to help other people to fight against those who are corrupt and fucked up that's working in these type of companies and jobs and organizations and such. So there's entities that will influence their influence their actions and who they are. And if you're around police officers who you could sense are really bad, their energy is like way different than everyone else. There's something intense that makes people scared and shit, because it's what they're working with. It's not just that they're attracting lower vibrational things around them based on the things that they experience on the job. Like, you could even see in your mind's eye, like reptilian energy. Like, not all reptilians are bad. There's you see other things within them, and that's why they say oh, not all politicians are like human. Like, not everyone is human. Starseeds, Lightworkers, etc. Our DNA is different. We may look like everyone else, but we're different. Not everyone's human. Very gifted. Now, as for the whole reptilian theory with politicians, now most can be human, but they can be like reptilian incarnate, or they just work with reptilian energy, and they allow these reptilians from these other realms to inhabit their vessel, so they can influence them, take over, like an invocation. I did a video on invocation magic. If you practice invocation, you understand, because when you invoke an entity, you are basically harboring their frequency. You're vibrating on their frequency, so you allow that energy to affect this physical realm. And so this is why there are those of us who like to invoke better positive energies in our art, our music, and evoke positive energies to help other people. Now, there are these typical narcissistic people who purposely invoke these bad energies when they come across a chosen one, or a Lightworker, or a Starseed, Archangel, whatever you want to call it. And they would, as usual, will play the scapegoat game, try to one-up you, try to destroy you and shit like that, and make you look bad in front of people, humiliate you. Humiliation, when people do that for others, it's ritualistic. It's a energy vampire thing. Now, not all energy vampires are bad. Not all energy vampires are narcissists. Just to clarify that. Now, but these people, when they use that humiliation Ritual is just to feed on your energy, is to make you feel bad, fuck with your self-esteem so you can lose your personal power. Now you're not gonna always lose it, you're gonna always gain your personal power. You can't really destroy energy. But these people like to feed on your energy so they can become stronger and transmute that so they can use it for whatever needs that they want to use it for, whatever purpose. Now, it's always good to call these motherfuckers out and see right through them, put them on blast, call them out for gaslighting, call them out for scapegoating, call them out for trying to one-up you and shit. Call them out for the ritual abuse of trying to like humiliate you. Like, it happened to me. And, like, two particular mofos in my family used to doubt to me all the time growing up, because like they have no conscience and they're miserable and they're on their dark magic BS. As if I don't know, you can't fucking hide anything from a high priest, dude. And it's like, people know that you're different from them and you don't fit your criteria, even in your own family, and they just want to like, you know, harness dark energies against you and keep you from your success in your life and whatnot, you know. And you don't have to like even lose your confidence when dealing with these people. You know, they want you to lose your confidence. They want you to feel scared and be timid around them and shit like that, and they be passive aggressive and try to act all like goody two shoes to you next time they see you after they fuck with you. Throw it in your fucking face. Put them on blast like they did you. You know, make you feel uncomfortable. Throw it in their fucking face, you know? Sometimes these people will be so dirty that they try to manipulate others to even bully you. This shit happens in schools. A tarot reader even talk about that. I forgot her username on her channel name, but she talked about her readings about schools, like there's rituals and it's like they're being programmed to attack students who are not conformists. And it's true. I always pick up on that. You know, they do that to the point where the kids even will kill themselves. I remember posting about that too last year on Facebook, that these people will even bully you to the point that you'll kill yourself, and it's still a form of sacrifice. It's still a form of them sacrificing you because they drove you to that point to offer yourself if they can't kill you themselves. It's like their way of getting away with murder. It's like their way of getting away with murder without actually putting their fucking hands on you. Just like, you know, people try to put spells on you and try to spiritually assassinate you and whatnot. You know, so, but, you know, when you're so strong and you see these things, you understand that people can also like see that in you and they see your potential and whatnot and try to like fuck with you. Like, you know, where I'm from, like, I don't know why, I'm not trying to like sound racist or anything. This is just my experience that I had always dealt with growing up. Like where I'm from, there's like a lot of Hispanics, and growing up I always felt the evil eye energy from them. Like, not all of them, like there's many who are cool people that I came across, but the assholes that I came across who are basically brujas, they sense my spiritual energy, my spiritual power and how strong it is, and it fucks with them. Like, what I mean, we're doing just existing, they just want to like single you out like it's some tribalist bullshit. Like even in school, like if you're in a classroom and most of them are just Hispanic and you're like the only dark-skinned one, like, dude, you're black too, fuck you. Which I had dealt with one student who kept bullying me and then mentioning like race things, like passive aggressive jokes, and I always sense that there was something more to it. It's not always about race. They try to make it about race because they don't want to really tell you that they know that you're a high priest, high priestess, and you're more powerful than them. So they try to fuck with your self-esteem. So they try to like bring you down. And that's people in general, not just singling out Hispanics. So, but that's what I had dealt with. Like everyone else I had came across were just cool people. And what I mean by that is someone who was Caucasian or another person who was indigenous. Like I said, Puerto Ricans are black too, but you know what I mean. So darker skin, and even Asians, you know. So, and I came across obviously some really good Hispanics who were really cool people, and so, but it's just that I always had that issue, particular Hispanics, and I could feel that telepathy. Like I feel them talking so much shit, and like how they are in cahoots to like start shit. Like, dude, I was just a fucking teenager. You're adults and you're acting like this, you know. And who's just letting them get away with what they're doing, like spiritual attacks and shit. I know what's going on now. They understand what's going on, so I had, you know, cut the energetic cord. And for other people who need to do that, you know, people need to get into practice of cutting energetic cords, especially when dealing with these people who work with these dark energies. We come across in companies and whatnot, and you know, they try to screw with you, cut the energetic cord, you know, like just release, you know, so they're not feeding on your energy, or you're just not being affected by that bullshit. You know, so like I said about the whole school thing, you know, there is some magic behind all this. Like, you know, when you go into these schools and you just feel so uneasy, it's not just because you're in school and it's a typical thing, like, you're a teenager, high school, it's hard, I get it. But it's also something else that you're feeling. It's not just that, you're also feeling something on a spiritual plane. And you feel these energies. You can see in these teachers, some of these teachers' eyes, like, you know, the teachers who are up there next to the principal, who the principal will keep close to them in high schools. Like, it's not just middle schools, but high schools seem more rougher. So, and they know that because teenagers are in that adolescence, so it's easier for them to feed on their energy because they know that the teenagers will go through depression, like, around the ages. I mean, I know children underage even go through depression, but like teenagers, it's like, it's like a more tough thing because you're in between as a child and adult, you know. So you're in that adolescent stage, you're in that, so it's all ritualistic. You think about it, so you think deeper on that, you see how ritualistic it is. So they purposely fuck with you and just want to feed on your energy, and you can feel that in the astral, like, they'll screw with you, and you know they're gonna target you, point at you, make it seem like you're something wrong with you just because you're not conformist, you're different, you without saying anything, you feel that they got their eyes on you. It's like, okay, we got this one, we're gonna put it down in their system or write it down or whatnot, and then be like, okay, this is the one that we're gonna keep our eyes on. And that one, you know, it's like gang stalking. It's like how the governments know who are the starseeds and whatnot, which ones are to attack and try to destroy or exploit or slander and put them down. It's equivalent to that. So I know I really want to hear what people have to say about this in the comments. I really want to know. Anyone that I share this to on Facebook, don't forget to subscribe and like and share, please. And comment, please. I really want to know what you got to say, because I know there's a lot of people who comment on my gang stalking video and told me shit, and I know that you guys can relate to this as well. You know some shit, and you feel like you is something, but you may not experience it deeper. It still count as you have the experience that you're seeing something. You know it, the energy change. You know, it's like it was always like, if you stand up for yourself against the bullies, you notice you're the one getting in trouble. Instead, it's a fucking inverted world. It's like DMC, the video game. It's like when you get to that one stage where everything's inverted. You know, when he goes to the guy who's like the news anchor because they're feeding the bullshit in the media. DMC, that game is so fucking conscious. Play that game, yo. I love Devil May Cry. DMC is the reboot. Get it. Play that game. There's so much messages in that game. I love that game, yo. Play it. You see what I'm talking about? They're showing you what's going on in this world. You know, like what's going on in the spirit world. All this, see what's happening. But in the spirit world, there's something corrupt on the inside that's influencing everything, that's pulling the strings. So get that game, because I know Indigos, fucking, like Dante in the game, he is the definition of an Indigo in that game, especially Virgil, because he has his movement. People would, you know, think of Virgil's group, his organization, kind of like Anonymous. You know, Anonymous are a bunch of Indigos. I don't support everything they do because they don't really do shit. So fuck them, but you know what I mean? Like, just get that game, DMC, because they're exposing so much truth in that game, you know. So, and I love it when you retrieve that guy's eye and he tells you perspective is everything, you know. And so there's a lot of messages in that game. Get it, play the fuck out of it, enjoy. Great soundtrack, Call Me Christ. And it's an amazing game. So yeah, just don't be afraid to understand what's really going on in this world, and you know, don't be afraid when you're after you know this stuff, and you know, you have your kids go to school, you know, pray for them, you know, have Archangel Michael around them, give them a hymns in hand pendant or something, You know, if your kid want a tattoo, give them his hand tattoo. No, I'm just kidding. Wait till they're at the age where they can have a tattoo, obviously. Um, pray for them. You know, my mom used to write prayers from the Bible and then like on a piece of paper and then wrap them and then give it to me and my brother and whatnot. It's just how I didn't really understood that much back then, but now I do. Now I understand that. You know, my mom was, she knows some shit too, and I understand it more and more. And where she coming from. I understand why every time I came from school, she always asked me, am I okay? It didn't even bother me. Because she fucking knows. Like, yeah, I had dealt with bullying because of that shit, but there's times when things start to change, because I started to manifest things differently. Even though shit's still happy here and there, but I started manifesting more better outcomes, but I didn't manifest that much throughout high school, so I wish I knew. Like, I asked myself, if I knew about law of attraction more better. Because I knew how to manifest when I was younger, but I didn't know the law of attraction. You know, I just knew how to manifest. But if I was deeper into it, back then, I wonder how things would have changed. Especially like how to protect yourself spiritually and whatnot. And so just knowing this, when that tarot reader had talked about that, it could basically confirm what I sense and whatnot. So it's nice that other people are knowing this, you know, so it makes me even more confident to talk about a lot more shit on my channel. So because other people know, they understand, so that's great. And you know, we're in this together, you know, this is the age of Aquarius, you know, we're supposed to enlighten you, you know, this is the apocalypse. That's what enlightenment is this destruction of the illusions. People are gonna feel uncomfortable and destructive inside spiritually because what their programming was. So everything's breaking down from the age of Pisces and breaking things, you know, building things with the age of Aquarius more better and shit. So we're learning so much, we're learning a lot, and we're teaching each other. There are people who don't want to learn, and that's fine. Let them be ignorant, you know, let them be in the astral chains. They got chains on them in the astral and they don't want to break free, you know, just like Black Democrats. That's why they say they still on a plantation. So no offense, but anyways, yeah, so see through your mind's eye, follow your intuition. You know these motherfuckers in your schools are corrupt. You know, there was one dean who always flirted with underage girls, but everybody always like joked about it and shit like that, and kissed his ass. They act like they worship him. He probably was working with something to get them to worship his ass, just because he's been working there way long time ago when my older siblings went to that school. My older half siblings are way older than me, so like I guess like 20 something years older. So yeah, this motherfucker. But you know, you gotta break their power, break their spells and shit in these schools and these colleges. It's happening in the universities too. They're feeding this Jezebel worship, communist bullshit to people, and there's something happening in the astral. You gotta break these spells, yo. You gotta pray, you know. You know, despite what your beliefs are, you're still working with God, you know, because we all came from that source. So it's okay to pray to God, even if you're a fucking Satanist. You're God in the flesh. So why wouldn't you want to work with something that you are, and something that actually does unconditionally love you? You know, so what you don't like is the demi-merge. That's the bad guy, not God. The demi-merge is the false God. So having that relationship with God, you're having that relationship with yourself, and you're empowering your higher self, and you are embracing your godhood like you want. So do it. So share, like, subscribe, please, and hope you guys stay healthy and awesome. Keep your vibrations high. You know, take care of yourself, eat healthy foods, keep your immune system strong. You know, get some sun, meditate in the sun. I know it's almost October, but it's still hot outside, so that's great. So I gotta take my ass to the Big E sometime. But yeah, just stay awesome, stay blessed, and stay grateful.